Troye Sivan, Australian singer-songwriter. Troye Sivan. Child, well, apparently this song, one of the girls, made its way to my DMs along with this video, honey. One of the girls, honey. In the song, Troye sings, "Give me a call if you ever get lonely. I'll be like one of your girls or your homies. Say what you want and I'll keep it a secret. You get the keys to my heart and I need it. Give me a call if you ever get desperate. I'll be like one of your girls." If we break down and decode the lyrics, Troye is very blatantly saying, I will do whatever I can to be with this straight identifying man. I'll be like one of your girls or your homies. Troye is very clearly not speaking of a heterosexual interaction. Troye is very clearly speaking of attempting to alter someone's sexuality for his own gain, for his own need. But that wasn't enough. Troye also decides to get in drag in this video for one of your girls. The drag wasn't bad, honey. The makeup artist was eating, honey. The pads was cute, you know. It could have gave a little more on the chest, honey. But anyway, Troye decides to get in drag and seduce this quote-unquote straight guy. Child, honey, baby. You don't have to make it up. Troye's literally doing this right in front of us. This is Troye. Little Twinkie, little Euro twink. Oh, like Euro Twinkie Troye, honey. Troye is not a transgender. So, Troye, why are you out here perpetuating negative stereotypes about transgender people? A lot of people now argue and feel that trans people are simply men in wigs and women in pants who are attempting to fool straight people, or who are attempting to coerce straight people into changing their sexuality or their sexual preference. It is literally the premise for what we know now as the gay/trans panic, the gay panic or the trans panic defense, which is a legal defense that is used over here in this country, Troye. I don't know what they do in Australia, but I heard that they can be a bit worse to y'all queers over there. So I'm not sure what is going on, Troye. Honey. Troye got in drags, honey. Troye got up in the geishra, honey, and said that he wants to turn your man. Troye, you that desperate? For real? Troye literally said in the lyrics. Give me a call if you ever get desperate. Troye wants you to give him a call if you ever get desperate because Troye is already there. He wants you to give him a call if you ever get to desperate because Troye is already there, in desperate. DTF, honey. Baby. But I couldn't help think of when me and Maddie have read The White Girl about Kevin Gates. Honey, I can't keep up with the trailer park trash, so child. I don't remember the girl's name. I can't remember her name, but we'll look her up, honey. Baby, be reminded that this is what Troye gives white man. Troye is still, twink or not, Troye is still a white man. Now, Lilah Gibney, child, I didn't know that Lilah started off like this, honey. Baby, y'all didn't tell me that Lilah had started out like this. I didn't know that Lilah started out like this, honey. Lilah done been an attention seeker for a long time, it looks like. It appears, honey. Well, you know what? I'm going to let y'all see Lilah. We're going to take it back to Lilah. I didn't know that Lilah had started out like this, y'all, honey. Baby, I didn't know that Lilah was giving all of these things. Honey child.
I went on a date with Kevin Gates. Okay. You know who that is, right? Like 2 phones, one for the plug and one for the pussy.
Kevin Gates, yes, I was wondering.
Yeah. And that was everything, honestly. It was a really good experience. And like, he's just one of those people, like people in the industry, like they're so fucked up from like literally like the life that they have had that like, okay, so I DM'd him, you know, I like go on my little sprees.
Okay.
I'll like, what I do is I'll go and like drink. And I'll see who he's following and just DM every single hot guy I see with the blue check mark. And hoping that just pays my bills one day. Because shit, this pussy and my penthouse are not going to pay itself. And so I DM'd him and he was like, yo, like, I think he was like in Atlanta. I was like, I'm not. Like, so he came and he was like, let's go to dinner. And I was like, okay, just like text me where. Like, kept it really cool. Made a reservation at Mastro's, but like could have sent me a car service. But like, I'm an independent woman. So like, I'll call my own fucking Suburban. It's fine. Went to Mastro's and I was like, am I gonna get like shot or like gutted like a fish? Like I was like scared because you know like the experiences that I've had and the people in LA are so beyond. Like it's crazy because people in like Iowa and like small towns like think everything's so wholesome and like celebrities just like stay home. No, they're like out at restaurants every single fucking night, Monday through Sunday, not taking care of their kids and looking for a gangbang and like
always
looking for somebody to like write off or like cut off or like kill. I don't know. And so I was like, oh God, like what am I getting myself into? And he sat down, he had like 4 phones. He was saying like El Chapo was watching me. And I was like, okay. Like cool. He had a
boat. Was a gang or was...
No, El Chapo ran the
cartel. Is it a gang? I'm like, what is El Chapo?
It's okay, baby.
Just smile and nod.
Okay.
It's a good thing you don't know who El Chapo is. She's so cute. You were so
and it was just one of those situations where I almost felt like I was like at like lunch with or like in trouble with my principal. Like I felt like he was literally looking so deep into like my soul and my like 9 different holes that like I didn't even know what I was getting into. I tried caviar for the first time. That was cute. It was hot. And then I was telling him earlier, like it's crazy that like I have experiences with people or I hook up with people and then my brain just like I think teaches myself to like forget, or I have dementia. I don't know.
You're like one of the two
for sure. I just don't know which. And we were in his car. He was playing me his new album. He was on Instagram Live, and in my brain, I'm like, dude, he shows me on live, and I'm like, ugh, I just know one of like the fans from Iowa, like where I'm from.
That
like,
is a dude.
Yeah, like that's a fucking male.
I don't know if you knew this.
And I was like, wait a sec, if he reads that comment right now, he's gonna flip his car. Like I'm scared. He was taking me to his house, like in the hills. I was like, I'm never gonna be able to call an Uber. Like, I'm dying here.
Yeah, because in the hills, there's never service for anything.
Oh my God. And it wasn't like the hills. It was like insane. Like it was just far. I don't even fucking know. I blacked it out.
Okay.
And
there was no full disclosure here, so we're just
yes, okay, exactly.
We're going into this situation as.
And he didn't really ask like, do you want to come home with me? He was kind of just like, get in my car.
And they just I mean that's how they always are.
No, they don't ask, you go.
Yeah, you just go. You just follow the rules. And I've always been bad with following instructions, reading rules, the whole nine. And so we get there, I meet his sister, which like could have like honestly I think was his wife. Now that like I did my research, I'm like, I think I literally met your wife, but you introduced me as her sister. I don't know. He's all about like energy, like ashwagandha, like the whole 9. Honestly, we fucked. And I told him I was trans, like mid, like spread eagle, like pussy flap scars and all. Like
how did you bring that
honestly,
up? Like,
I was just
mid-sex. What?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in that situation. I've been in that situation a few times where it's just like, oh God, like,
she felt the energy was
she's like spread to go. She's like, I'm trans. She's like coming.
I'm like, I'm squirting.
He's like, what?
He's like, I'm like, I'm squirting. He's like, no, you're not. No. Oh my god, you guys kill me. But no, I'm not kidding, like spread eagle. I think he was like eating me out or something, and then in my brain he like stopped, and I'm like, oh, he knows my clit looks different. Like fuck, like I was like fuck, what's about to happen? And he was like, yeah, no, he's not out of breath that quick. Let me get this man an oxygen tank. But he was like, can I ask you something? And I go, yeah. And he was like, are you trans? And I go, and I was just like, I was so drunk, like, come on, they're like,
what gives you that idea?
And I was laying there, and I go, you caught me. And he literally was like, baby, I don't give a fuck. God raised all of us equal, all this stuff. And I was like, that makes you so much more attractive, and that makes you so much more, like, honestly, manly and hot, that you, like, that you know that I had to work harder and pay more than all these other fucking crusty, dusty bitches with, like, stinky pussies.
Well, anyway, that's Lilah, honey. Baby, Lilah is, honey, a piece of work. This was Lilah when she was on the whole point that I'm attempting to make is that more than 300 trans and gender diverse people were unalived in 2023. Lilah running around hollering about interactions with Kevin Gates. For all who didn't know, Lilah has had bottom surgery. Lilah has a vagina and allegedly had an interaction with Kevin Gates without disclosing to him that she was trans. She claims Kevin questioned her while performing congolingus on her. Child. Many of us are taken out. And in all of the states where it is lighter colored, including Guam, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, Mariana Islands, and Samoa, you could potentially get away with taking the life of a trans person by using the trans panic defense. When most people who take the life of trans people go to trial, they're rarely convicted. It would have to be gruesome, open and shut, an exaggeration. Most people are never charged with a hate crime. Most of the people who are charged or found, because most of them aren't found. Most aren't found. Then out of the bit that are found, most of those aren't charged with a hate crime. Then out of those who are charged, most of those get away by using the gay panic or the trans panic defense. But yet we got Lilah out here running around literally telling stories of how she's fooling rappers who are ex-convicts. But somehow Lilah still is here to tell the story. And I'm not mad at that. She should be able to disclose anything that happens in her personal life without fear of losing her life. Troye gets to run around making songs about getting in drag to fool men and to coerce men into relations. And somehow still here to tell the story. But something else that Lilah and Troye have in common. They are celebrated. Yes, honey. The caucus of the LGBTQ, honey, the young caucus love these people. Honey, the young caucus of the LGBTQ love Troye and Lilah. Honey. I can't. What do you think? I think it's a hot ass mess. Child, I think it's pushing the movement back. I think it's dangerous for trans people. I think it gives lawmakers excuses to still have things on the books like the trans panic defense. But sadly, trans women who look like me are the ones who are laid in the streets, are the ones whose blood is on the leaves. Trans people who look like Lilah and Troye are usually celebrated. And yes, I know Troye is not trans, but there are trans people who look like Troye. I wonder why that is. I wonder why black or brown trans women commonly are unalived with no repercussions. But white twinks and white trans women are celebrated for doing the same things that y'all claim the black and brown trans women are doing to be unalived. Let me know what you think in the chat and in the comments.